All righty. Have you got a cushion? I hope you've got a cushion handy. Fabulous. Okay, so a cushion for this piece. So for us this morning, for everyone joining us at home, we need a little cushion. Not a huge voluminous sort, because that will get you into a little bit of mischief. Okay, so not too big, just a smallish type of cushion if you've got one, or just not too much padding is ideal if possible. Okay, so we are going to use this to begin with our setup. So I'm going to get you to just go ahead, if you can, grab that cushion and pop it between your knees. That just a gentle touch between the knees on that cushion. Okay, if you find at this stage that cushion is too voluminous and immediately feels too big and bulky, perhaps you can change it, or go ahead and just put it down around the ankle area so you don't have to hold it up quite so much. Okay, so it's a light feather touch on the cushion between the knees if you can. You find your feet a little bit closer than perhaps ordinarily we suggest, all right, which is fine. And hands are just down by your sides. And we're going to go ahead and take this time for our setup. All righty, you're just going to be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice, easy work. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And you're just aware of that cushion there between the knees or the ankles. And it's a gentle sense of making sure it doesn't drop or that it's secure, not a big grab or squeeze at this point. All right. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, fabulous. All righty. So just a gentle feather touch as you breathe in. You're breathing in through the nose. And we worked a little bit into this lovely upper area last week, this thoracic area. So be mindful of that engagement as you breathe in. You're expanding the rib cage, expanding from left to right, but also front to back with a lot of mobilization of the thoracic. So let's go ahead and really breathe into this upper area, 360 degrees all around this top section of your spine. And then perhaps indeed sense that lengthening of the spine all the way down through the mid-spine, down to the lumbar spine, right down to the base of your spine here, down at the sacrum where you join in with the pelvis. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you exhale, we're going to go ahead and draw in the core. So that sense of drawing in now the muscles as you draw in into the spine area, that inner circle, if you like, or inner section of our muscles around the spine, but also this outer section as well. A lot of our rotational work, this outer section as well, drawing in everything, pulling in as you exhale. And maybe go ahead and feel that pelvic floor drawing up and in. We're going to think about activating that too, just drawing in wind and water. And maybe when you find that you're activating that area around the pelvic floor, you can perhaps feel little messages heading down to the inner thighs a little bit, perhaps even in between that knee area as everything draws in up in the pelvis. Of course, you're slightly contracting in and up. And some of these muscles through down the legs, of course, have their origin up there, which is where the muscles start. By that, I mean up there in the pelvis. So they're responding as well. And maybe a slight extra squeeze, very gentle, or maybe a noticing more of the cushion between the knees as you exhale. For this last 2 breaths, bringing it all in together. And one final breath in, broad through the thoracic, exhale, zipping and hollowing, perhaps inner thighs engaging, open your eyes and bring yourselves back into the room. Okay, nodding your chin down into your throat space. Go ahead and let the head come slightly further down as you bend the back and get hold of that little cushion from between the knees and drawing your arm. So bringing your cushion just in front of you. We're going to draw our arms up into double arm float. So you might need to have a little bit of a grab on the cushion, that's fine, but not too much of a grip. Shoulder blades back and down. Be careful you haven't curved forward because of a concentration on the cushion. That's it, well done. Breathing in, exhale, double arm float, lifting the cushion to where we got to last week and we didn't lift the ribs. Remember, the rib cage was pulling down towards the pelvis, so 2 little buckles keeping it nicely controlled. Just cast your mind back as the arms come back down, breathe in, exhale, pull down the rib cage into our double arm float. Okay, we're just going to take it into 2 more double arm floats, breathing in. Notice where your shoulders are in space. They're not lifting towards those ears. There's a nice space between the shoulders and the earlobes. And this last one, we're going to pause with the arms high, lifting, 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 pausing high, Pausing here, well done. Pausing here, making sure the shoulder blades are down, that rib cage is connected. Yes, just gently pulling down towards the pelvis into our knee folds now. This means the knees are simply going to come towards the toes. You stretch the back of the Achilles, the calf muscles, and bring yourself back up. Arms stay high. Pausing with the knees down this time. Okay, we're going to now come up with our legs lengthening as the cushion comes down to the top of the head and taps gently on the crown of the head. Knees fold, arms come back up towards the ceiling. And as your knees and legs straighten, the cushion just taps onto your head. Okay, so knees fold, arms to the ceiling. And tap onto the crown of your head, legs lengthen. 2 more times, breathing in when your legs are down and arms are up. Exhale as the tap on the head happens with the cushion. And last one, breathing in, knee fold. Exhale. And this time, bring the arms forward and go ahead for me and knee fold one more time. Gently knee fold, but our arms are now at shoulder height. Just retract those shoulder blades slightly. Again, reminding ourselves not to pull the arms forward and separate the shoulder blades. Nicely set with the shoulders and sink into these heels. Okay, feel the heels nice and sunk into the floor. All righty, let your right heel just come off the mat. Nothing else moves. And I want you to think of the sense of rolling onto the balls of the foot or the ball of the foot on the right side. In parallel to your hip, if you come back down towards the floor and onto the left ball of the foot, roll onto the foot if you can. So it's not a sense of lifting and the head comes up. You're really pushing that kneecap forwards to the front of you and rolling onto the ball of the foot. Once you've got that sorted, we're going to add in, the cushion is now going to pull in towards the chest as you heel lift, elbows head wide. Okay, so maybe lift the elbows slightly to about chest height and squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Coming forwards with the cushion, your heel comes down, breath in, exhale, opposite heel lifts. Push the cushion, pull the cushion into your chest, pull the shoulder blades together and elbows are wide. Forwards with the arms, breath in, exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Shoulders stay low, of course, and forwards. One more time. Well done. And pausing here, gorgeous. Let the legs come back into standing, arms down, cushion down towards the front. Well done. Okay, so we're going to take ourselves into a half roll down. So just allow the cushion to hang in front of you. All right, legs are nice and straight. Perhaps if you prefer, your legs are hip width apart. Taking our chin to the chest, just release and open the cervical spine at the back of the neck. The belly should be in. Let's go ahead and roll the chin down or pull the chin down the front of the chest plate. And we're going to let the cushion continue its journey down the front of your legs and about halfway for me. So the cushion comes to about knee level. Okay, and then we're going to peel back up. So we're using the whole of the spine. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Breathe in, chin comes to chest. Feel you can maybe cast your mind back to the rib cage opening we worked on last week, but we're heading a little bit further down this time. The cushion heads towards the knees. Maybe you feel a bit more pull in the lower spine. And we're going to do that one more time, breathing in, exhale and pausing down this next time, peeling down to about halfway and pause. Okay. Now let the arms, so you're just pausing, rolling down, bellies are in, weight a little bit over the front of the toes, I should say, okay? Now your arms are gonna hang down just directly underneath those shoulders, okay? So belly is in, pelvic floors are in, feet are hip width apart, and neck is long. Our arms are hanging down from shoulder height. You're going to now breathe in, and now imagine you've got 2 strings on our elbows. You're pulling the elbows up to the ceiling either side of you, and pull that cushion up to your chest plate, and then back down towards the floor. Breathe in. Now, can you try and slide the elbows fairly close to the sides of your body or your rib cage, not as wide as before. So we're not sending those elbows out to the corner of the room, but we're sliding them up by the side of the rib cage. If you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable or the legs are not comfortable or hamstrings, go ahead and just soften the knees slightly. That's absolutely fine. Okay, we've got 2 more. Pull those elbows towards the ceiling. And our last one, that's it, perfect, Julia, lovely. Lift, 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 lift. And pause here. Well done. From here, we're going to peel back up, tuck your chin into your throat space, belly into your spine, peeling back up, 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 up. Well done. And pause. Okay. Down into a kneeling position. So it's a high kneel, guys. So just taking yourselves down onto the floor, onto your mats. facing whichever way you wish, okay? Alrighty, and arms are out front. A little bit of mobilization. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. Let the feet come down flat if you can. If it's uncomfortable for you, go ahead and tuck the toes under. And our cushion is just about shoulder height. So we're going to practice a little bit of movement around the body. I'd like you to take your cushion into the right hand. So you've got a grip on the cushion on the right, and the left hand currently is doing very little, just hanging out by the side, okay? Now, I want you to send your right arm out towards your side, okay? So it's heading out towards the side. And I want to continue that journey with the arm behind you until you get behind towards the back of the mat. Now we're going to take your left arm back to receive the cushion and then draw the cushion back round to the front. So taking this cushion 360 around the body. Now keep your torso nice and still. Breathe in, send the cushion round towards the back of you on the right, and collect it with the left arm and back to the front. If you're switching arms, that's no problem at all. Continue to switch or continue on the right for one more time. And then we're going to continue on the left, okay? So coming back through to center, if you're alternating, continue alternating. All this time, hold the cushion in the left hand, right arm, just doing very little. Go ahead and send the cushion out towards the left. Around towards your back, collecting in your right hand, sending it round towards the front where you gather yourself, prepare, breathe in, exhale, over to the left. One more time behind, arms are staying reasonably straight if you can, mobilizing the shoulders, mobilizing the shoulder blades, last time, and around, and to the front, well done, okay. Pausing with the cushion towards the front, again, the cushion's in your right hand for me. This time I just want you to let it just drop, okay? So you can just let it hang, you might need to hang onto a cushion, a corner, perhaps an edge, wherever it's comfortable, just hang with the right hand, holding onto the cushion. All right, your left hand comes forward, and it's at shoulder height as well. We're going to now think about the shoulders. Currently, your shoulders are facing forwards, directly above your hips, directly above your knees. They need to stay exactly where they are. We're going to send this right arm now directly in parallel to your body out towards the back of the room and lifting your arm as high as you can behind you without going into that thoracic rib cage curl, right? So there's no movement in the ribs. Now we're going to switch, so your right arm comes to the front and your left arm heads behind you. And again, there's no twist of the shoulders, there's no spine flexion or extension. Keep those shoulders parallel to the floor and the front. Changing now the switch of the arm front and back. Breathe in, exhale, switch. So we're loading on the right arm at the moment, but we're really talking to the shoulder here to work with its stability, okay? You're trying to think this shoulder's staying nice and stable, and it's the humerus bone within the socket itself that's actually doing the work here. Forwards and backwards in this sagittal plane, lifting the arm as far behind you as you can with the cushion and without, pausing towards the front, with both arms coming up, catching up with each other and taking the cushion into the left arm. Again, holding onto the cushion where you feel comfortable, depends on your kind of weight of the cushion or the shape, etc. Feeling comfortable that you've got that hold, shoulders are still facing forwards above your hips. You're going to go ahead and send your cushion arm behind you, keeping the shoulders front. Let that front of the shoulder have a bit of a stretch, reach the arm behind you. Breathe in, exhale, and switch. Now your left arm coming forward, right arm back, marching arms and shoulders in parallel. Breathe in, exhale as you switch. Really reach the arm behind. Breathe in, exhale, and switch. Core nice and controlled, hips not twisting. Perfect, well done. And one more either side. And last one. Well done, gorgeous. And bring your arms down by your side when you finish this final one. Gorgeous. Sitting down for me now, letting your bottom head down onto the mat. Go ahead and pop the cushion. Okay, it's just about a centimetre below the bottom of your spine. So you're not sat on the cushion, if you would. If you have got a really squishy flat one, okay, and it goes into a meander so that the edge of the cushion is really just a bit of fabric, you might want to hoik yourself up so you've got your bottom a little bit more connected, but see how you feel. Right, the point is that we're going to be doing our lovely C-curve work onto that cushion, so it needs to be nearby. Go ahead and hold onto the back of the thighs for me. Just once, as soon as you get that grip, okay, make sure you feel then that the core comes into control, okay? You've got your hold on the legs, bring the belly in and start to think, yep, I've got myself nicely balanced. My tummy's switched on, my core is nice and controlled, my pelvic floors are even active. All right, lift through the crown of the spine. And the first thing I'd like to do is just gently think about the knees, sorry, beg your pardon, the nose heading towards your knees. So gently easing that nose forwards. Okay, once you've got to that nose to knees relationship, they're not near each other necessarily, bring the belly and push the belly button down into the base of the spine. So you start to get that gentle pelvic tilt and maybe the opening out of the lumbar spine into our C curve or a rounded back shape. Lift, using the arms and the hands a little bit into your start position. Grow tall, shoulder blades down, gorgeous. Starting with nose to knees. Pull that nose in the direction of the knees. Now belly to spine and push into the lumbar spine opening here. Heading a little bit further back, perhaps to where your arms are in full extension. Yeah, and maybe you'll start to feel the lower back kissing into the little cushion you've got there and peel yourself back up. Well done. A little bit quicker now. Nose to knees, belly to spine, arms extending, kiss onto the mat. And one more time, lifting nice and tall, nose to knees, belly into spine, pull in, slight pelvic tilt, kissing onto the cushion and pause, hold back for me, pause, pause, pause. So you're kissing onto that cushion, well done. Call on the tummy muscles, call on the pelvic floors. This is really just a matter of just giving you a little bit of support in the lumbar spine. Go ahead and lift your arms to just our shoulder height. Well done. We're going to lift out, single arm lift now, single arm towards your temple and back to center. Breathing in, single arm lift on the other side and down. Breathe in, exhale, lift and lower and lift and lower. If you can, we're into double arm floats. Okay, as soon as you lift those arms, you're a little bit more weight to hold in the belly. So a big exhale, belly to spine. If you're really struggling with this, you can bring yourself slightly out of that lovely deep C curve and maybe bring yourself into a higher C curve. This is our last one. And then just gently peel yourself back up, holding behind the knees, lift yourself nice and tall. Go ahead and fish behind you for that cushion. And we're going to hold the cushion out front, again at shoulder height. So we've really opened the lumbar spine, we've mobilized that lower back. We're going to go ahead and find that space if we can and see how you feel, where your back feels when you head back to that where you thought the cushion was or where the cushion was behind you. Breathe in, nose to knees, belly to spine. Start your journey back to where you got to pretty much with that cushion. Okay, perhaps you're not so secure, in which case you don't need to go so far back. Wonderful. Well done. From here, we're going to just look at that cushion, get your eyes on the cushion, pretty much thumb line. We're going to now take that cushion and send it over towards your right side, no further than probably 45 degrees. Okay, so between the knee and your shoulder. Come back to center, breathe in, exhale. The cushion follows that lovely shoulder line towards the left side and back to center. Now again, guys, if you're really struggling with this piece being further back, okay, bring yourself slightly forwards and you can still do this piece sitting slightly higher. Okay, you don't need to be all that way back, but we're challenging those core muscles. Well done, back to center. Keep your eyes on that cushion. Keep your eyes on the cushion as you rotate. And final time, gently peeling yourself back up into sitting. Extending your legs now towards the end of the mat and lifting your toes towards your knees so you've got your ankles in flexion. Double arm float with this the cushion towards the ceiling. We're going to do our spine stretch with our arms floated this morning, okay? So feel that lovely lift from the sit bones, almost as if you're floating out from the bottom of that pelvis there. Breathing in, let's go ahead and take our cushion and let it dive forwards towards your toes. Belly is in. You're still almost lifting up and out of those sit bones as your nose travels towards the direction of your knees and that cushion towards your shins, ankles, or feet. Bring that belly in. Still think about making space at the front of that belly area as you lift with your arms towards the ceiling. Breathing in. Grow tall. You could even maybe squeeze those sit bones together, okay? And gently rolling forwards, keeping that belly pulled in so you're really stretching the lumbar spine. This is not necessarily just a forwards fold where you're looking to bend in half, but you're looking to really get that flexion forwards in the spine. And one more time, breathing in, exhale, and forwards we go. Maybe pressing a little bit more into the heels as if you're pushing them to the side of the room there, or towards the front of the room, I guess, as you're sitting here, the wall in front of you, and then coming forwards. Well done. And release the cushion back down. Okay, I think that's maybe time to give those arms a little rest. Heading down into lying on the mat now. So bending the knees like mountains, releasing yourself down. And the cushion to begin with is going to go between your knees, guys, okay? So pop a cushion behind your knees. And what I'd like you to do is just lift your bottom, the fleshy part of your buttocks, slightly off the mat, and go ahead and pop those hands. Okay, so they're not under the arch, the lumbar spine, they're under your bottom cheeks. Yeah, the hands are under the bum cheeks. And with that, you might feel that you've created that little nest just above the thumbs there. Okay, that'll help us a little bit of a pelvic tilt and security when working in our double leg lifts. Okay. Now, you may recall last week we talked about neutral spine, we talked about imprint. I want you to go ahead and find that imprint, that sense of pushing that lower spine into the mat, as if you're trying to push that little lower lumbar spine into that nest you've created between your forearms, elbows, and thumbs. As we exhale, the next couple of breaths, just remind yourself of that bringing the belly into the core and the pelvic floor area as well. Okay, quite often we get a bit forgetful of the pelvic floor. So just do that for me, breathing in. Exhale, slight imprint and areas around wind and water, drawing in. Now, on this next exhale, as you engage in zip and hollow, I'd like you to just gently pick the soles of your feet up off the floor by about 1 centimeter only, just the tiniest foot float, and then you let the feet come back down the floor. Breathe in, belly in, pelvic floor strong, imprint, 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 double foot float, and down. So think of those internal abdominals we talked about at the beginning. Your inner circle that work around the spine are currently pulling down, 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 down into that pelvis to just counterbalance as you lift these legs, okay? So you're engaging deep around the spine, but also you're working on the outside muscles too. But it's these internal big guys are working on here. Exhale as you lift into double foot float and down one more time, breathing in, exhale. And pause with the feet down, just relax for a second. Okay, so actually this next stage, although it seems more active, is actually slightly easier than just floating the legs. We're going to now bring the knees into your chest. So do not be afraid. You're going to breathe in exactly the same way. You have to zip and hollow first for me. Exhale as you double knee pull into your chest, but don't lift the bottom. We're not looking to lift the bottom. We're not looking to lift the coccyx off the mat, taking your feet back down onto the floor with a breath in. And we've got 3 more. Exhale, knees into chest. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Well done. A gentle squeeze on the cushion, maybe no further than a little bit more than a hold, but not a big squeeze. And last one, breathing in. Exhale, and this time pause with the knees into your chest, please, for me. Go ahead and release your hands away from underneath your bottom. Grab hold of the cushion and now place it between your ankles. Okay. From here, we're going to then go ahead and lift your bottom slightly. Maybe it's a roll from side to side to reposition the hands underneath your bottom. And now we think a bit more about a squish between those ankles, okay, because we're going to activate the whole of the inner thighs. If you can, I'd like you to pull your toes towards your knees. It might not be easy with your cushion, depends on how big it is and how malleable it is. But if you can, gently lift your toes to the knees so your heels so your ankles are flexed. We're going to push with the heels now and send your legs about 45 degrees away towards the end of the mat. And then bring your knees into chest. This is where we need big imprint, guys. Breathe in, exhale. Big imprint, big zip and hollow. Okay, good stuff. If you want to add on a bit of a squeeze between the knees, there will be a bit of a space, so it's not for everybody, okay, because the cushion there. However, we're also asking those thighs to work a little bit harder because there's space. So see how you feel. There's a modification, not for everybody. Breathe in, try and really push away with the heels. You might be heading towards 45 degrees. You might just be heading somewhere just a little bit above those hips, and that's fine as well. Okay, that's not a problem. If you can't head too far away, that's absolutely fine. This is our last one. Breathe in, exhale. Bring the knees into chest and just pause there for a second. Releasing now your hands from behind your bottom area. Draw the hands now up towards the ceiling. Knees are still into the chest. We're going to do one more step. This is our double leg stretch. This time we're going to send our arms away overhead. Head stays down, please, for me, as we are working so much harder with our legs. We're going to breathe in, send the legs away with our heels, and arms are coming over to where we have our maximum range, no ribs popping. Breathing in, this is what we learned last week, knees into chest. Breathe in, exhale as the arms go to temples, no ribs lifting. If your arms are kind of out of your eye line, I would wager that you've popped your ribs and they've just come unattached or not connected to that front pelvis we've worked on before. Okay, so that's your little note to self. Press the heels away. I think I said 4, we're heading into 6. Let's do one more. This is superb. Breathe in, exhale, and exhale with the arms overhead, legs reach away, and back into your start position, knees into chest. Taking the cushion away from between those ankles, place your feet back on the floor. Place your cushion on your belly and just enjoy a full mat stretch for a moment, stretching through the whole of the body. Let the back have a stretch, let the front of the hips have a stretch, let everything stretch through. Well done. Okay. Bring the arms back overhead, bend those legs one more time, heels up towards your bottom, and placing those cushions between your knees. Okay, so we're going to head towards a double leg circle progression piece now. So this is what we haven't done for a while. We've done lots of work on single leg circles, so we have got preparation in our roots. So we're going to be okay. We're going to have our hands now just resting down by the outer towards a T. So you're into a T position, your palms are faced up, and your hands are down on the floor. Arms are down on the floor, hands are down on the floor. And go ahead and find that imprint again, that lovely lower spine connection you worked on a moment ago. We're going to bring our legs into tabletop this time, not into your chest, but breathing in, go ahead and lift those legs into tabletop. If you feel the cushion's not equally balanced, you can go ahead and shuffle around now. Make sure you feel comfortable, that's important. Knees are directly over hips, pressing down with the belly to spine. Okay, shoulder blades, guys. Let's have a moment to think a bit further up the body now. These 2 shoulder blades are pinned down into the mat, facilitated by our arms being out wide. It really helps, okay? Now you're going to think about the same 45-degree angle we did a moment ago with our cushion and C curve. You're going to send your knees roughly to 45 degrees. So you're looking to head out towards the side of you. Your hips, one will lift, one will stay down, but I want your shoulders, most importantly, to stay connected. Breathe in, come back through to center. And we're going to send those legs towards the other direction, about 45 degrees. Now, this is your first exploratory go. If you feel like this is too much, you can do a couple of things. One is bring those knees into your chest, okay? And that may help if it's getting into your hips. That is one modification. If it's just too much having the legs up, please pop those feet down. Continue, guys, while you're at it, by the way. If you're modifying, you're just taking your legs to the side, but your feet are staying down, and you breathe in, exhale as you come back to center. So those are the modifications for the legs. Arms staying where they are at the moment with those shoulder blades pinned down. Choose your level. Big exhale as you head to the side where you pause. Breathe in again and exhale, come back through to center. Okay, pausing wherever you are with your levels and your knees are in the center. I now want you to take your hands, lift them off the floor by about 5 or 10 centimeters, and you're still in the T position, just the arms are levitating off the floor by your sides. Here we're going to practice the same thing without these arms as stoppers. So plug those shoulder blades in, breathe in, exhale, sending the legs to the side to 45 degrees. How does it feel now? A few more messages needed across the shoulder blades, I would imagine. Breathing in, exhale, off we go to the side. Shoulder blades, shoulder blades, shoulder blades, super glued down and back through to center. Try not to let that lower back arch. Okay, you're rolling onto the side of your lower back and your hips. And last time back to center. And pausing here. Take your arms now up towards the ceiling. So we have no arms either side. Shoulder blades back and down. Breathing in, exhale, arms towards the, legs towards the side. Now see how it works. You may not get very far at all. We're slowly just increasing the challenge. Well done. And last 2. Working those obliques, shoulder girdles staying nice and solid. Final 1. And come back through to center. Take the cushion away from your knees. Let one foot down, come back onto the floor, and the other one as well. Wonderful, gorgeous, well done. Okay, what I'm going to get you to do here while we're lying here is just take the cushion that you have, lift your bottom off the mat, Place it under your lumbar spine. So this means that lower archy bit, I know you know that, but we're going to put it there, not under your bum. All right, so we know we're there. Now roll your knees over towards the side of the mat and peel yourself back up, and we're readiness for our roll down. We're going to use this little cushion to help us with our roll down, or our roll up this morning. So we're going to start either with we'll start with our legs bent. We've done our C curve manipulation to the lower spine. So let's find a nice tall sit. We're going to go with our flow. We imagine begin with the nose heading towards the knees and pressing into the lower spine. We're going to let the arms come to extension where you then let go of your legs. We're continuing the journey down onto the mat, down onto our cushion where it receives the lumbar spine, and our arms come overhead. Now, this is where we're going to breathe in. And exhale as you draw yourself up, using the legs if you need to, grabbing hold behind those sides and sitting nice and tall. One more time, just with the legs bent. Breathe in, nose to knees, complete the C curve, belly to spine. Arms into extension, let go of the legs. Peeling down vertebrae by vertebrae onto the cushion. Arms coming overhead, neck is long, shoulders still really reasonably down. Breathing in, exhale, peel yourself back up, chin to chest, lift, 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 and into sitting. Now that may be your level you want to continue with. Otherwise, let's go ahead and take the legs out, and we're into flexion with the toes towards the ceiling. Way back when, it's a visual I personally love. I imagine a little rope around my toes, and I've got a hold of this rope from my toes. I'm going to use that visual to get myself back to the floor without my knees, okay? Or hold onto the knees and continue. We're going to release ourselves down over the pelvis through rolling down slowly towards the floor. Arms come overhead. This is where we need that lovely breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. Imagine that rope around your toes. Pull yourself back up and sit nice and tall. We're going to do one more sitting tall, releasing back, down we go, off that rope as we release ourselves down, double arm float overhead, try not to pop the ribs, breathe in, exhale, pull yourself up. Now imagine grabbing hold that lasso around the toes as you sit nice and tall. Pausing here for us all, if you have your knees bent and you are using your legs as ladders, go ahead and extend your legs. We're going to continue our journey forwards down that rope, or everyone heading towards the toes, and we're into a forwards fold. Okay, so we're going to then peel ourselves up into sitting. Bend your knees if you need to, or legs are straight, releasing yourself back down. We're going to do one more, the whole piece. Arms come overhead. Point your toes. If you've got that left in your to-do list, you can point your toes. You flex as you come back up. If your knees are bent, grabbing hold behind those thighs, lifting yourself back up into sitting. Then you extend your legs, and we're rolling forwards into our forward fold. Nose is coming towards our knees, and sit nice and tall. Well done, gorgeous. All righty, rolling onto your sides, guys. I want you to place your cushion this week underneath that rib cage. Okay, so we're down the middle of the mat. We are supporting our head with our hand if you can, and that, as I said, the cushion's under the rib cage. All righty, so I've talked both last week and last term about the sense of lifting the rib cage. I'm hoping with a cushion underneath you here, that should make it a lot easier to make some sort of sense that you've got that rib cage lifted, spine is in alignment, the neck is in alignment with the rest of the spine right down into this pelvis here. Now, once you've lined yourself up to the middle of the mat, go ahead and lift both legs and plop them onto the front corner of your mat. Yes, so you've created that little angle at the hips for me. All right. Now we're going to start where we kind of left off last week with some of the circle work on the leg work. We're going to do what's called the big leg circle. So I would like you to perhaps turn the toes under of your foot on the lower leg. So we've done this before where we just almost hook the legs into the bottom corner of that mat like a bit of a stopper or an anchor. Okay, with that we can create a sense of maybe pressing that lower leg in towards the mat. We're going to go ahead into our big leg circle. Last week, you may recall, we did some work with the high kick. Yes, when we went into high kick, we were like slowly rotating and lifting our legs so you could see the knee and the foot a little bit more. We need to use that for the big leg circle. Okay, so we're going to start with just gently lifting your leg to hip height, and go ahead and pull the leg forwards towards the front of the room, and then send the leg towards the back of the room. Just one more time forwards, and one more time backwards. Okay, pausing and into our high kick for 2. Breathe in, exhale, lifting your leg towards the ceiling, slight rotation and roll onto the bottom cheek of your bottom and into your start position, hips facing forwards and lift into high kick. And we're going to head into our full leg circle. So breathe in, exhale, bringing your leg forwards towards me. Continue the journey of the leg as you head up into the full range of your high kick. Well done. Sending the leg behind you, you're pinning down with that foot in the floor. Yeah, leg stays straight behind you and you sweep forwards. One more time, slowly coming forwards towards me, lifting into your high kick where there's a slight rotation, external rotation of the hip. The leg comes behind you. You need to pin yourself down with that front foot and come forwards. Okay, we're going to try 4 a little bit quicker. If you're nervous with your hip, please make the circle a little bit smaller. Otherwise, you're going to breathe in. Let's go. Sweeping forwards, up and round, and forwards, up and round. 2 more, forwards, up and round, forwards, up and round. Pausing, leg on leg, starting this time with our reverse. When you're ready, breathe in, exhale, behind, up and round, behind, up and round. 2 more, behind, up and round, behind, up and round. Gorgeous, well done. Pausing with the legs together. Okay, well, we all agree, perfect. From here, I'd like you to just send that leg, the top leg now behind you in parallel to the, so same height as your hip, okay, so no lower or higher, so just in that same height as the hip. Now we're going to reach that leg to the back corner of the mat. Go ahead and reach, 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 reach. Wonderful. Now taking your top arm, I want you to bring your top arm to the opposite diagonal corner of the mat, so in other words, towards the front, just in front of your temple, and this is our counterbalance, okay? Tummy is in tight. Do not be tempted to roll forwards with this top shoulder. These shoulders are stacked, your ribs are nicely balanced on this cushion, I hope. We are now going to take this back leg and just head it down towards the back corner of the mat and up. We're just going to tap down and up. Okay, so it's a tap and raise and tap and raise and tap and raise and tap and raise. We've got 4 more and 3. Tummy's in tight. As we start to get a little bit more familiar, perhaps we lose our form. Last one. Pausing with the leg out towards the back. Check you've got the belly and shoulders are stacked into our single leg circles about the size of an orange or a side plate. Let's go ahead and circle the leg behind for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, reversing direction for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Pausing here, readiness for sweep. We're going to take your top arm. It's going to head down towards your hip. As your leg comes forward, you're going to then sweep your arm behind and staying with those shoulders in parallel. Well done. Bring your leg forwards. Breathe in, exhale, and sweep and switch. Breathe in, exhale, sweep and switch. So the arm emulating the marching we did right at the beginning. The shoulders perfectly stacked. Well done. Neck is long. Last one. Well done. And bringing yourself back to center. Placing your hand now underneath and just grabbing hold of the cushion, allowing your ribcage to sink down into the mat. Now I want you to go ahead and extend your arm down and your head comes onto your top shoulder. Your shoulder, lower shoulder. The cushion is going to go behind and squeeze behind your knees now, guys. Okay, your knee comes up towards the ceiling and your toe is roughly pointing towards your inside of your lower knee. Okay, now this might be a bit too much for you if you feel like you're cramping, you feel like it's just not your gig or it's not for your hips. Then go ahead and just lose the cushion. You can put the cushion behind your, underneath your ear. Make the most of it not being used. However, I'm hoping that we're going to get this behind our knee if we can. If it's a little bit bulky, you might need to fold it in half, a little bit of a pinch on there if you can. Okay, so hips are facing slightly, hips are facing slightly forwards. Top hip is pressing open. Yes, okay, so you're not rolled totally back onto that lower butt cheek. Let's go ahead and think about those the frontal hips of the pelvis opening like a book. Now from here, grow nice and long through the rib cage. Try and emulate a little bit of that rib cage lift. Gentle touch for support, and we're going to simply lift our knee to the top shoulder and touch the knee joint. So it's a small journey to begin with. Breathe in, exhale, lift and down and lift and down and lift and down. Well done. Lift and hold. Gorgeous. Taking your arm into javelin. Arm up into javelin if you can. If that's a step too far, then don't worry. We're then going to touch again, down and up and down and up. Last 2 And last one. Pausing here with the knee, so the toe towards the knee. Now we're going to see if we can take this toe and just touch towards the front, in front of the knee joint and behind the knee joint. Okay, so there shouldn't be a huge opening of the knee. That's it. Well done. Just a touch in front and a touch behind. If the javelin is a little bit too much, you can go ahead and pop that arm back in front. Okay, support. We'll continue our challenge with just the javelin arm out the way for 2. Last one. And pausing there. Well done. Okay, go ahead and fish around, grab hold of that cushion. Let's lose the cushion for the moment. We're going to come onto all fours. And here's not a technical challenge, but it's just a physical challenge of how we get this here. I want you to place the cushion just over the base of your spine. Okay, so this is where you're going to regret it if you've got a flat old cushion like this. It's going to make me work a little bit harder. Hopefully your cushion will just mold into that lower back for you. Okay, I just want you to switch on the brain to say, I need to keep that lovely little coccyx and tailbone nice and stable. Okay, we're going to work limb by limb before we work on our other side lying work. Okay, guys? So hands underneath our shoulders. Be mindful that your heart space is kind of over your thumbs. Yeah, that's where you really want that to be happening. Now, try and think about the lower shins as well, just gently connecting with the mat. Sometimes if you're pressing so much into the hands, you forget that you can put a little bit of effort into the shins and take some weight off those hands, okay, guys? All righty, right hand now, I want you to turn onto your little finger and just take a pause where your shoulders are still in alignment. And we're going to now think about where your right shoulder is in space. I'm going to ask you to just slide your right little finger towards the front edge of the mat, but the shoulder has not moved in space. Remember, you've not lowered the shoulder, you've not dragged it forwards. The shoulder is perfectly set in space. Bring that hand back in. Breathe in, weight into your right hand, perhaps your left shin and knee, and your left fingertip. Sorry, you'll turn your left hand onto your left little fingertip. Breathe in, exhale, slide and slice your left hand forwards, the front edge of the mat. Not looking for a lift yet, guys. And then you slide that hand back in. One more time, either side. Breathe in, right hand, shoulders perfectly still. As your little fingertip slides forwards, belly in, focus on the little balancing of that cushion across the pelvis. Breathe in, calm and quiet. Exhale, left hand sliding forwards and back in. Okay, so here's the challenge. Let's go ahead and take your right hand onto the little finger, slide it forwards and pause. Take a little regroup. Press slightly into your right kneecap or shin or shin. Breathe in, exhale as you then lift your left kneecap slightly and extend your left leg out towards the back of the mat. So currently, right and left limbs are straight. They're reaching to their maximum extension and they're touching the floor, yes? Now we're going to practice our lift. We're breathing in. We're going to exhale as we lift our right hand and our right foot off the floor. The limbs stay straight, so no bend at the knee or elbow. And they touch down, and that's where they stay. Touch and stop. Breathe in, exhale, lift. Big challenge on that cushion. Okay, this is where you get lots of feedback if you are lifting your bottom cheek on the left. And if you're trying to get that leg too high, you'll know because the cushion will have now dumped down on the right-hand side or possibly on the floor. We've got just one more lifting. And come back into center. And we're just going to take the cushion away from behind us and pop it just roughly where your hands were a moment ago and push back into child's pose. Perhaps your forehead comes down onto that cushion. Okay, that's quite a nice way of child's posing. Maybe take this opportunity, if you know your bottom doesn't get down towards your heels, you can put the cushion actually behind your heels or even the knee joint and just sit back into that cushion so it doesn't make that angle too tight at the knee or hip. Okay, pausing, perhaps wrist stretches if you want to, gently pulling your fingertips towards the heels of your hand, just gently curling them up towards the inside of your elbow for a stretch. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up. So find yourself in 4-point kneeling, fish around for the cushion on the base of your spine. We're going to go ahead straight into the left arm. So when you're ready, breathing in, cushion nice and set. Yeah, find that perfect little position. And then it's our left hand. So you're going to press slightly into your right knee and shin. The left hand is coming in, sliding forwards and just resting fingertips on the mat there. Shoulders still nice and parallel. Now press a little bit into the left heel as your right leg slightly floats and hovers towards the back edge of the mat as you extend a straight leg, toenails down. Everything is down, toenails down, arms are straight. Go ahead, breathe in, exhale, and lift your arm and your leg. And notice what's going on the cushion with this side. Breathing in, exhale. Perhaps you can't get so high. Perhaps you get even higher. Okay, perhaps you feel like it's harder with the arm when you're focusing on the leg. Has your cushion meandered? Has it worked its way up now into that lovely mid-spine? Which it might do a little bit, but maybe a little bit too much means that you've just lifted perhaps that bottom of the leg a little bit too high. Okay, we've got 2 more. And our final one. And then very calmly with control, drawing your knee and hand back underneath. Gorgeous. And one more child's pose, again, choosing if you want to have the cushion behind your bottom, in front of your head, or just discard it all together, just child's pose. Here before we work on our other side lying series. One more deep breath in. When you're ready, just gently peeling your hands up towards walking your hands up towards your knees, knees and peel up into sitting. Swing your legs around to the opposite side. So you've got your cushion now under the rib cage, remember, and we're going to have our head supported. Okay, so it's really going to give us a nice alignment of the pelvis with the cushion here under our ribs. All righty, so we're not doing all the work. Okay, so your legs are down the middle of the mat. Once you've found that lovely position, shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, then and only then lift those legs and put them into that front corner of the mat. All right, again, see if you can either feel that sense of pressing the lower 2 or 3 toes into the mat by just tucking them under, or indeed just press down with that lower leg into the mat. So you've got that sense of gluing it down and making an imprint with the leg there for me. All righty. So remember, we're going to do our high kick prep first, sorry, our big circle prep first, starting off with a gentle swing forwards of the leg. Breathing in, exhale, leg comes forward. And then breathe in, exhale, send that leg away behind you and stretch through the hip flexors. Okay, pushing into that front foot as you come forward. Well done. And exhale. And pausing in the middle here, we're going to take ourselves into our high kick reminder. Breathe in, exhale as you draw your leg up towards the ceiling. A gentle roll slightly back onto that lower bottom, looking at the knee and the foot. Okay, so you're conscious that you've slightly rolled backwards and externally rotated the leg, because we'll need that for our our big circle. And back through, stacking the hips to the front. When you're ready, we're going to start with a leg forwards. Breathe in, leg comes forwards. Continues its journey now up and over, a slight external rotation, roll back, keeping your balance if you can. So as the leg comes forwards, the hips restack and your core is strong. You come back through to center. Breathe in, exhale, leg forwards, high kick, external rotation, control, belly pulling in, tummy pulling in, pelvic floors, we're pulling in and forwards. We've got one more, breathing in, forwards, up and over. Okay, so again, we're going to take this into a faster version. If you would like to go slow, you can. If you'd like to make it a smaller circle, please do. When you're ready, breathe in. We're going to do 4 here. Forwards, up and round and back. Use that lower leg. Forwards, up, around and back. Forwards, up, around and back. And forwards, up, around and back. Pausing legs on leg on leg. When we're going to reverse, breathe in. Legs are long, pulling down, rib cage pulling along the floor towards the head. Breathe in, exhale, send leg behind, up, around and forwards, behind, up and round and forwards. 2 more, up, around and forwards. Last one, up, around and forwards. Well done. Pause, regroup to the center, where we're then going to send that leg out towards the back corner of the mat, just pausing at hip height and just reach, just enjoy that lovely stretch over the hip flexor. Arm just supporting us for the moment. Well done. Okay, now once you've got that lovely balance, taking your top arm and reach out towards the front and pausing with the arm counterbalancing towards your front temple. We're going to lower the back leg towards the back corner of the mat and back up to just bottom or hip height. Okay, down and up and down and up. Breathing in, down. Exhale as you lift. Breathe in, down. Oh, it's not too critical. A bit of exertion on both of these, so don't worry too much. And breathe in and exhale. Last one. Breathe in and pause. Check in those shoulders are stacked. And we're going to take ourselves into single leg circles. Let's go ahead. Small little circles. We're working right at the back there, using those glutes whilst getting those hips flexors and nice old stretch. Last two. Last one. Switching direction for 4, for 3, for 2. And pausing here. Okay, readiness for our sweep. Short, making sure your powerhouse here, this lovely rectangle, is nice and calm. Breathe in. Exhale as you send your hand down, or top arm down towards your thigh, sweeping it behind you, bringing your leg forwards. And breathe in. Exhale, sweeping back. And breathe in. Exhale and switch and sweep. And switch and sweep. Whoop. I'm not getting my brain working on this side this morning. Well done. And switch and sweep. Big exhale. That's the need. Breathe in last time. And switch and sweep. And bring yourself back to center. Reach around, grab hold of the cushion from underneath the ribs. We're going to take that cushion again, plopping it behind the back of your knee. If you struggle, you can put it slightly lower down. If you've got a really big fat cushion, maybe even folding it in half might be helpful sometimes. Just getting a little bit of roll over the top so you get the chunky bit of the cushion under the knee joint itself. All righty. Again, remind yourself that lower leg is towards the front corner of the mat. Your toes are pointing down towards the knee joint. And again, trying to open out that pelvis slightly, okay? So the knee's just not collapsing towards the front, but you really are trying to lift that knee. And indeed, we're getting a stretch and an opening across the front, left, right of the pelvis, okay? So that's kind of important. All righty, so hand down to begin with. Make sure you're pulling the rib cage towards the crown, breathing in. Exhale as you just gently draw the knee in towards the direction of your shoulder. Or maybe the visual for you is just lifting the toes off that inner joint of your knee, but just maybe 2 inches or something like that, maybe 3 or 4 inches, depending on how you feel in the hip. It might be the tiniest little tiny lift. Exhale as that knee comes in and shoulder blades pulling back and down. Again, the legs do this and the body just says, I can meet that. And it pulls its chest down. Okay, you want to keep the shoulder blades pulling down behind you. Exhale, pull down the shoulder blades. Last 2. And pausing here, this time with the knee just down, taking your arm up into javelin. Find that balance, continuing here for 4. Breathe in, exhale in, and down. Okay, see how you feel on this side. Again, discard the cushion if it's just getting in the way or it's becoming too much of a burden and getting in the way of your technique. Just get rid of it and down. Breathe in, exhale, and last one. Letting the toes just rest on that kneecap, you're going to then take yourself into very small touch in front of the knee joint and behind. Okay, if you wish to pop the hand down because we're going forwards and backwards, you might be beneficial from that. So we're just going to touch in front and touch behind. So this is a really tiny move. Okay, I'm not looking to get you to just touch anywhere beyond that leg, really just slicing down the side of the knee joint in front and behind. Looking out to the horizon, shoulder blades down, arm up or down. Last one. And pause in there. Gorgeous, well done. Retrieve the cushion. And we're going to pop it underneath us now as you roll onto our tummies. Okay, so this might be quite nice. We're really thinking of pushing this cushion under the front of your belly button and your pubic bone here. So really on this lower part of your abdomen. And just go ahead and let your back sort of sink over the front edge of the cushion if you can. It just depends a little bit how massive your cushion is, but that sense of letting the upper body just collapse and your bottom almost sort of rolling over the front of this cushion and just having that lovely arch in the lower back. Okay, so just hang out here for a moment. Our hands are stacked one on top of the other. Shoulder blades are pulling down, so you know this diamond press work, okay? And your legs are roughly hip width, maybe slightly wider, if you feel more secure that way. All righty, so way back when last term, we really did talk a lot about this lengthening of the spine, like you're trying to pull this upper body, almost like pulling it like a little Lego man away from his legs. You're trying to just disjoint yourself in the middle. I know that sounds quite extreme, but it seems to work as a visual for me. That lengthening of the upper body from the pelvis along the mat, please. When we then take a breath in, and we're just going to let the belly come in, still pull forwards, lift your nose chin and gaze towards the front edge of the mat. And you've got, of course, this lovely cushion now you can let the hips sink into as we go into our back extension this morning. Okay, so hopefully that feels quite nice and secure. Come back down, just gently resting your head, nose, and chin, nose, and forehead on your hands. Breathe in, exhale, pulling yourself forward as if you're trying to shunt forwards along the mat, lifting your forehead, nose, chin, and up to looking roughly about a foot or so in front of the end of your mat, and down. And we're going to continue our journey this next time, if you feel comfortable, by lifting the elbows. So as you pull forwards, you lift your gaze, your chest. Think about that lovely pull from the belly button as you lift now your elbows off the mat, pressing into the hands. This is our diamond press. If you would rather not, then keep the elbows down, and you're lifting up into your diamond press. Coming back down, traveling down from the belly button all the way through the front of the belly space. Think about the rib then coming onto the mat, then the next rib down onto your chin, nose, and forehead. One more time. Elbows lift if you feel comfortable. Peeling up, pressing up into back extension. And then gently belly button leading you down. Think the belly button comes down through the soft part of the belly under the ribs. You then gently peeling down rib by rib through the chest plate, chin, nose, and forehead. Well done, gorgeous. Bring your legs together for me. So you're just going to tuck your toes under. Hands come by your shoulders, easing yourself up into a child's pose, where we're going to thread the needle. Now this is quite nice having the cushion. Now thread the needle is either possible you can do this in child's pose, and you can just take one arm, post it underneath your armpit and have a little peep underneath. And some people find that quite nice and safe and secure. And then when you have your cushion here, you can pop your head on the cushion. Okay. If that feels like it's a little bit snug around the hips and you would like a little bit more range of movement, slide your cushion forwards, lifting your bottom away from your heels. You're into an extended child's pose where your bottom is heading up towards the ceiling, but your knees and feet are still down. Sliding your hand underneath and just pause. Okay, this is not a zip from side to side. I want you to pause and breathe 3 deep breaths into wherever you've got to. Okay. With the head on the cushion, that should feel nice and comfortable. And then when you're ready to bring yourself back out of this, just gently bring the arm that's furthest away along the mat, draw that back in towards you as you then slide your twisted arm underneath the body, and then switching sides. Choosing if you want to be in normal standard child's pose or extended, go ahead and switch direction. Pausing here. Just take one more deep breath in, feeling that nice rotation, stretch, and a breath into the lower spine, and indeed your obliques and the sides and the shoulders. And then to bring yourself back in, this arm that's way along the mat, just draw that one in slightly first for the bend, and then use that to support you as you come back in. Okay, we've got a little bit of a challenge for us this morning. I want you to place your cushion just before we head off, running for the hills. I want you to place your cushion just gently by the side of the mat. Okay, so it's by the long side of the mat there, and your hands are just in front of that cushion. Okay, we're in 4-point kneeling, but I'm going to go ahead and take us straight into extended 4-point kneeling, which means, as we did last week, you're gently going to draw the crown of the head forwards towards the front of the mat. Okay, so you've just created a slightly, what I like to call my launch position, that feeling of being towards the front of the mat over your hands. Okay, now you can choose. You may prefer to do this here. You may want to challenge, and you may want to step back into plank. If you want to step back into plank, you just extend your right leg, toes tuck under, and your left leg, toes tuck under. You're more than welcome to try the first time or so here, but you may well then wish to just float the knees back down as you continue. That is up to you. Okay, so let's start with our knees down. And if you're in plank, just hang on out there for a moment. So I want your cushion should be on your right. I want you to lift your left hand off the mat and see if you can grab hold of the cushion on the right, underneath your chest and rib cage. Slide it across to the left side of the mat and put your hand back down and regroup. Okay, breathe in, exhale. Now get your right hand to fish around underneath your rib cage. Grab hold of the cushion, slide it towards the right side of the mat, put your right hand back down. Okay, breathe in. We've got two more, breathe in, exhale. Right hand slides underneath, grab hold of your cushion with the left hand sliding towards the side and back. And with your right hand, grab hold of the cushion underneath your rib cage, slide towards the right and back. If you're in plank, well done. Let those knees float down. Everyone, then just let the bottoms head back towards the heels for a child's pose stretch. Well done. Big challenge on that shoulder stability piece. Okay. We're going to bring ourselves up into standing by coming into a downward dog or a V stretch. So if you do not feel comfortable doing that, you can tuck your toes under and just push back into a small ball and then a crouch and roll up with your tummy in control and your core and pelvic floors in. If you would like to come into downward dog, hands planted on the end of the mat, push into your toes, tuck your toes under, lifting your knees, elevate the knees, extend the legs and into a downward dog. Again, pull back the shoulder blades and let the head settle between the hands. Okay, we're going to just gently pedal the legs as we did last week. If you may recall, you're bringing your one knee forward, press the opposite heel into the mat. Just gently, no major stretch. You're not trying to necessarily press the heel down to the mat itself. Okay, so just switching the sides left and right. And maybe speed that up slightly if you want to. Gently switching, legs in alignment, shoulder blades down, head between the elbows. Okay, so this week we're going to walk the feet towards our hands. So pressing into the hands, just gently taking small little steps now as your feet just inch themselves towards your hands. And you're probably going to get to a point where you're a foot, maybe 2 feet away from the hands, the knees will be bent. Bring your feet into parallel and bring your power into your core. Transfer that power. Feel that shift now as you have to then bring yourself into standing. No longer so relying on the hands. You now need to use the rest of the body to draw yourself up into standing, restacking vertebrae by vertebrae, and up we come. Hands down by our sides. Well done. Okay, so from here, just gently facing forward, hands down by your sides. Closing your eyes, and for a moment, just take a breath in and exhale. In through the nose and out through the mouth as you just remind yourself of your posture set up from the beginning of the class, your head perfectly over the shoulders directly over the hips, hips over knees and ankles. As you exhale, zip and hollow, find that inner strength, that inner core. Imagine the deep work we've done around the spine, but also external rotation work as well today, breathing in. Exhale, sinking down into the soles of the feet, letting everything pull down and melt towards the floor. Open your eyes, and we are done. Well done. Lovely. Yes, not you. That was a great work. Lovely workout. Thank you very much. I hope the cushion helped you just a little bit more understanding where you are in space and everything like that. So good job. Well done. And I will see you, if not on recording, I will see you in the studio. So take care and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.